Because for me, it doesn't matter whether, you're a line manager. I'm not really title or, hierarchical.
Yes.
And I'm able to, even today, I'm able to challenge anyone, be it a board member, CEO, because of what I believe in.
You know what? At your level, and perhaps in your rise up the corporate ladder, was there ever a time or times when you felt underappreciated, overlooked perhaps for certain roles and responsibilities?
I think, yeah, to be honest, I would say there's very few examples I can think about, and purely because I absolutely have had tremendous support in my career. In my exposure at the MTN and even previously, I've just had the privilege of being supported. But I can think about a time where I worked with somebody who had been not necessarily somebody I'd known for a long time. And I think, as you've rightly said, sometimes I'm very firm in terms of how I take my position. And the person I was working with, especially being female, I don't think they were very appreciative of that. And, because for me, it doesn't matter whether, you're a line manager. I'm not really title or, hierarchical. And I'm able to, even today, I'm able to challenge anyone, be it a board member, CEO, because of what I believe in. And the person that I was engaging or reporting to at the time didn't really take kindly to that. And, went out of their way to basically just overlook me for certain things that I needed to be involved in, just to be able to influence a decision without my involvement. So I'd find out after something has been decided to say, oh, this has been decided. I was like, oh, okay, purely because they knew that I might have a different view. But fortunately, it wasn't prolonged. It's something that happened for a very short time. And, I looked at it as not a reflection on me, but of somebody who actually wanted me to be, let's call it a follower, rather than, standing firm in my views.
Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that you were female?
I definitely think so. I definitely think so, because in my career in general, I'm always surrounded by males. And for a long time, I've been like the only female in a room, or in most of my meetings, I'm often the only female. And, sometimes it like strikes me, but sometimes I actually don't even pick it up. And somebody has to tell me to say, hey, did you notice that you were the only woman in that room? And sometimes I'll be the only woman, but I'll be basically driving the discussion. So I definitely think that for certain people, that doesn't necessarily sit well, depending on the exposure to females.
I suppose also being black and being a female, it also positions being black, female, and being as successful as you are, it really makes you an attractive, call it candidate for headhunters. And so my question is around now headhunters. I'm sure you get approached on a regular, someone with your success. You get wooed into different companies regularly. How do you remain focused on the job that you have and not get swayed by every single opportunity that comes to you and it gets presented to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult question, because having been with the company that I'm with for so long, you are sometimes looking for change, and for me, it happens a lot. But right now, how I try and keep myself focused is by focusing on basically the roles that really, stand out. and only if something really, really sounds meaningful.
Yes.
Because, you know, when you get to my level, you're not just looking for financial gain, you're looking for something a bit more impactful. And in fact, right now I'm at a stage in my career where I'm purposefully looking for, you know, roles that can actually make a bigger impact in terms of society as well as who I am as a person. So I am no longer basically interested in just any role. It's about actually what type of role it is. So, but at the same time, because of my current work and how impactful it is, I'm able to focus on it. But to be honest, it's not as if I'm not open to other things. It just means it has to be something meaningful to me.
You mentioned something about, in terms of who you are, something that has to do with who you are. Who are you, if I could, besides being a mother, the CMO of MTN, you know, a friend to someone, a daughter, who are you at the core?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, maybe to help answer that, I'll give a bit of my background. I mean, I come from very humble beginnings. I was raised by my grandparents. My mom had me when she was very young and, you know, needed the guidance of her parents to raise me. So a lot of my, you know, life and who I am has been impacted by my grandparents, who were very firm, very focused on education, very focused on achievement, very principled and very strict. And a lot of my value systems comes from that. But one thing they instilled in me was excellence. I needed to be excellent in everything. Sometimes, you know, the bar was even too high, you know.
Wow.
So I am, you know, who I am. I really, from my background, come from a school of I need to be the change that I want to see, because that's basically the value system within which I grew up. Whenever I was in any environment, you know, my grandparents would ask, you know, what did you do to influence it? Did you put up your hand? You know, I was always encouraged to stand up. So
and speak up.
you know. So I actually that was instilled in me from a long, long time ago. And I've always been able to see things differently. But sometimes I go into situations, and because of that, you know, value system, sometimes I look out for differences, purely because that's how I've been conditioned to say, you know, what is it that you can influence differently when you get to a situation? It's not about just blending in. It's about, you know, what if, you know. So I really believe in being the change that I want to see in any situation.